Alright, today we're tightening this down and talking about Cuba's oil crisis. Why it's getting worse right now, how it connects to the US reshaping Venezuela's oil situation, and why some folks are nervously whispering Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. Let's keep our feet on the ground and our heads out of the clouds. This isn't just lights flickering, it hits transportation, food delivery, hospitals, and water systems. When fuel slows down on an island with limited infrastructure, everything backs up at once. That's why warnings about unrest and protests are starting to pop up. Cuba doesn't have much buffer. When oil shipments stall, the system doesn't bend, it cracks. Why oil is the pressure point? Cuba relies heavily on imported fuel, and that supply is being squeezed from multiple directions at once. The US has escalated pressure by signaling penalties and tariffs on countries supplying oil to Cuba. You don't need a full blockade to cause chaos, just enough risk that ensures banks and shippers start backing away. When that happens, tankers stop coming, or arrive late, or cost way more than Cuba can afford. Cuba has been scrambling for alternatives. Mexico has been sending oil and fuel products. Russia has publicly stated it will continue supplying oil, but none of these sources are unlimited or guaranteed, and every shipment now comes with political strings attached. Where Venezuela comes into this 4 years. Venezuela was a major lifeline for Cuba, subsidized oil, friendly terms, ideological alignment. That changed fast. The US has moved aggressively into Venezuela's oil picture, issuing new licenses and effectively controlling how Venezuelan oil is produced, refined, and exported. Call it oversight, control, or managing the spigot, the effect is the same. Venezuela's oil now flows under U.S. rules. And Cuba is downstream of that change. When Venezuela's oil system shifts, Cuba loses a key safety valve. At the same time, the U.S. is openly trying to limit oil shipments to Cuba. That's a 1-2 punch. Why people are saying Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. Let's slow this down. There's no confirmed missile deployment, no photos of launchers on beaches. 1962 replay queued up. But the conditions making people nervous are there. A destabilized Cuba under economic and energy stress, the U.S. tightening pressure close to home Russia, signaling continued support for Cuba-grip powers. Jockeying for influence in the Caribbean, that is how escalation usually starts, not with missiles, but with pressure, counter-pressure, and bad decisions made under stress. The real risk isn't instant nuclear drama. It's miscalculation. One side pushes too far, another side responds symbolically, then symbolism turns into posture, then posture turns into oops. What the realistic outcomes look like here is what is actually plausible if this keeps escalating. Option 1, a humanitarian grind with worsening shortages, blackouts, and social unrest. This is the most likely short-term path. Option 2, rising regional tensions, including migration pressure and maritime incidents. Constant friction, no clean resolution. Option 3, great power signaling from Russia through naval visits, aircraft transits, and cyber activity. Pressure without crossing the red line. Option 4, quiet backroom deals and unofficial compromises that keep Cuba barely functioning while everyone claims victory. Bunker Benny bottom line, Cuba's oil crisis is real and worsening. The U.S. shift in Venezuela's oil situation removes one of Cuba's last reliable lifelines. Talk of a new Cuban Missile Crisis is fear language. Not confirmed reality, but fear shows up when systems are under stress. If you want the real early warning signs, don't watch for missiles, watch fuel shipment, shipping insurance, port activity, and diplomatic tone. Because in the real world, the countdown usually starts with spreadsheets, not sirens.